and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, but I've got my first book haul of 2023 and I'm so excited. Some of these books I got towards the end of 2022 and a lot of these books I got in 2023, and I did read some of the books. I also went ahead and purchased the special editions from Chapterone Bookstores, so I have some thoughts about that as well. So if you're interested, keep watching. First up, I've got this amazing book that I found. That's how it looks. This is a portrait of evil Disney villain. So it basically tells you all of the different Disney villain stories or their origin stories. I think the illustrations are just beautiful. There are stories about every villain that you could think of, and I actually got it at a pretty reasonable price, and it has these kinds of pop-ups as well. So this was an amazing collector's edition that I wanted to have for a long time, especially from the villain's point of view, and I think this was just a brilliant buy. Next up, we've got a few middle grade books. First is Pages and Go by Anna James. This is the first book, Tilly and the Bookwanderers, and oh my god, you guys, I read this book and I am just like blown away. This is, I think there are about like 5 or 6 books in the series. I'm not really sure, but the setting though, you've got to read this during Christmas or like in December or whenever it's like super cold, because everything about this book is so cozy. It takes place in a bookshop. So we've got the whole ambient setting, we've got a cute little bakery within the bookshop, we've got like a fireplace, snow outside, and this girl, Tilly, she travels to all of the different fairy tale lands. So she goes and meets Alice from Alice in Wonderland, she meets Anne from Anne of Green Gables. It is such a cute book, and I think that all of the books in this series actually take place during that period of time. So you should definitely read this towards the end of the year. This was a brilliant buy. Next book I got is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. Now, I have heard a lot about this book. I have not read it yet though. I probably will pick it up this month or next month because I really want to read this. This is the first book again in a bunch of books in this series. This says 3 sisters trapped by an ancient curse, 3 magical objects with the power to change their fate. Will they be enough to break the curse, or will they lead the sisters even deeper into danger? I think that sounds very beautiful and thrilling. I'm so excited to start reading this. The next book is another collectible. So this is the illustrated history of Shadowhunters. That's how it looks. And this book has details about every single Shadowhunter character that you can fathom. So if you have read any of the Shadowhunter series, then you definitely need this book to actually understand the different family tree and the structures and who's family member and all of that. It has colored illustrations, which is just beautiful. I totally was looking for this book because ever since I read The Last Hours, the second book in the series, which was out last year, I was so confused with the family tree because the Shadowhunter world is just huge. So I really wanted something like a quick view into all of these families and their family history, and I found this book and I think it's just brilliant. The third and final installment of the Last Hour series is due this month and I've already pre-ordered it. I can't wait to read it along with this illustrated history. Now I'm going to talk about the 3 Chapterone Bookstores special editions that I purchased. I think there is one more that's coming out this month set of books, and that is Persuasion by Jane Austen. But let's just look at these 3 books. So first book that they did from their Gatsby and Grey editions was The Little Woman, and I'm gonna say that I love this. This beautiful illustration in the back and the front, and they've got like amazing edition pictures like that, which is there throughout the book. I think these illustrations are so cute, and even these tiny illustrations, along with the book in itself, I think are very brilliant. The spine as well is really well thought of. I think this is one of their best editions because the page is so thick. The color of the book also gives you the whole classic vibe, and the spacing between the letters and the paragraph, the lettering, the font, everything was just like spot on. There you go. So I have got a few other Little Women editions with me, and I think this is going to go right on top along with those editions. I'm going to give this a huge thumbs up. If you're planning to buy any of the special editions from Chapterone Bookstores by Gatsby and Gray, I would highly recommend this one. And then we come to the others. The next book that they put out was The Picture of Dorian Gray. So apparently this one and Little Women are part of their pastel editions, and this also has beautiful illustrations like this. This is a comparatively thin book. The Story of Picture of Dorian Gray is much more thinner than that of Little Women, but the qualm I had with this book is it's completely white. Like the pages are white. They're not like that shade of light of white that we saw in Little Women or generally you see in classics. So it gives off a more modern vibe, and the font is pretty big, which is also something that I thought was a little bit off. They could have reduced the font a little bit and probably spaced the pages much better, but it's still okay. I mean, if you're planning on collecting the pastel edition, I would still say go ahead and get this. And then we come to the Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I have so many issues with this edition of the book. This is supposedly the Scythe edition, and that is because it has all these really pretty pop-outs that you can look at, especially letters from Mr. Bennet, and you've got like these really cute envelopes with I think there is a letter inside. All these intricacies are like amazing, and even the start pages and the cover pages are also beautifully illustrated. My problem with this book though is everything else. So if you see, the pages in itself are really thin. It's like an A4 sheet. It's not necessarily, not even as thick as the one I saw in Little Women. And the text, the lettering, the font, the spacing, the chapter titles, I mean, come on you guys. This is no way classic material. And my biggest problem is this is the most expensive edition from Chapterone Bookstores, and I'm really not sure that this is worth that much of a price. I have so many other Pride and Prejudice copies that are amazing and beautifully illustrated. They're for much lesser prices. So I will not recommend this book unless you're just adding it to your collection. But if you're trying to start a collector's edition of Pride and Prejudice books, this is not the best one. Then we move on to a couple of more amazing classics. I've got Arabian Nights. This is the Bath Treasury of children's classics. That is how it looks, and it has colored edges, and now look at that. That is the kind of quality that I was expecting from Pride and Prejudice, and I did not get. And this book is half the price of that book, which kind of bums me out. So this is a bunch of short stories from the Arabian Nights, beautifully illustrated. This is supposed to be Bath Treasury of children's classics. I have not seen this edition as much outside or online. So when I got it, I grabbed it. there you go. I've then got another classic, which is The Great Gatsby. This is supposed to be part of the, I think these are the collector's editions penguin copies. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a cute little book. I mean, look at it. If you notice, these fonts and this well, not necessarily illustrations, but these pages, everything is top-notch quality, and this book was like super cheap when I got it. So that's another great classic to have. And I've got another classic. This time it's Middlemarch. So this is the 150th anniversary edition. Oh my god, it is brilliant, you guys. It has a dust jacket, and even the spine looks amazing. This is a great classic, and if you've not read Middlemarch, you should. This is by George Eliot, and I was so excited I got that. And then we have a really fat book, and that is the Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix illustrated edition. So I am into collecting all of the illustrated editions, and this one was out last year and I grabbed it. It has some amazing illustrations. So if you're looking to get a good illustrated copy of Harry Potter, I would highly recommend it. It's really huge. But what I did here was Jim Kay is not in the best of health, so he will not be continuing the illustrations for the rest of the series. So I'm not really sure what's gonna happen. I really hope they complete this whole set of books. Otherwise, my collection would be incomplete. And then I've got another amazing collector's edition, and this is Scythe by Neil Susterman. That is how it looks, and this is again got sprayed edges, and it's just, it looks beautiful inside. These collector's editions though, I swear. If you've not read Scythe, it's an amazing dystopian novel, post-apocalyptic, and there are these grim reapers who come for harvesting souls, and oh my gosh, this is an amazing start to the Scythe series. There are 3 books. This is the first one. I always wanted to have this. This is a 5 on 5 star rating for me. So if you've not read this, do check this book out. And the last book that I got was the complete Bramley Hedge collection, and I purely got this for all of the different seasons. The stories are so cute. This is a beautiful illustrated version of each season. So you've got like a spring story, a summer story, a winter story, and I think an autumn story, and it is just beautiful to read across during the different seasons. It's a must-have, especially if you're into like collecting seasonal artifacts, then this is a great book to have in your collection. So there we go. That was my complete list of all the books that I have got so far. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in another video. Bye.